The Minnesota Vikings have another massive game this Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts. And I say massive, even though it is the Colts, because it's a Sunday night football matchup. It's prime time. Okay. We just lost on Thursday night football. We're not really that great in primetime games, as you will the last couple of seasons, but it all changes this weekend when we got to take on Joe Flacco and the boys in Indianapolis. Should be a good matchup. I'm pumped up for it. So let's get to the week 9 game preview. But before we do, if you want one of these LED backlit Minnesota Viking 3D logos, feel free to hit the link I have pinned in the comment section and use promo code VS30 for $30 off your purchase. So the Colts should be a fun one. I want to hear your guys' prediction down below in the comment section. Let's talk about this one. The Minnesota Vikings, who are currently 5-2, have gone on a small skid since starting the season undefeated, but they'll try to right the ship on a Sunday night visit from the Indianapolis Colts, who are currently 4-4. Probably could be much better if they would have rolled with Joe Flacco basically the entire season. Anthony Richardson, he likes to take naps. He likes to take breaks. He likes to, say, I'm done. Okay. Get me off the field for a play. Joe Flacco, he's been there. He's done that. He's won a Super Bowl. Okay. This man, hey, he might be their promise, okay? But there are three things, okay, that, shout out to USA Today. They wrote this article. They said that are inevitable in life: death, taxes, and Joe Flacco becoming a starting quarterback. Now, after Anthony Richardson made some comments about how he was tired during the week 8 loss, the Colts will turn to the veteran Joe Flacco as the team tries to keep pace with the Houston Texans, which they are 0-2 against. The Texans swept them this season, and the Texans currently hold the number 1 spot in the AFC South division. The Colts are trying to stay in there, trying to make a run for this thing, trying to win that division. It's going to be tough, but with Joe Flacco in the helm, hey, I think it's very, very doable. We've seen what Joe Flacco did with the Cleveland Browns just a year ago. We've seen what he's been able to do with the Colts for a couple of games this season. Joe Flacco makes that offense just a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more scary. He opens up the pass game in ways that Anthony Richardson just hasn't done his entire career there. And it's only been a short, 9 games or something like that, maybe even less than 9 games. And Anthony Richardson just isn't a great passing quarterback. Okay. And that's very unfortunate. He is a scrambler. He can make things happen. He can make explosive plays happen, but he's not the quarterback that you see, taking over ball games, winning ball games like Joe Flacco when he's standing in the pocket, letting this thing, fly, right? Time of possession, controlling the clock, knowing what to do in certain situations. That's what Joe Flacco brings to that Colts organization. And with the benching of Anthony Richardson, at first, I was pretty pumped that we were going to play AR because he got tired last week. And then they benched him, and we realized that Joe Flacco would be the starting quarterback, and that made this game a little bit more interesting. It's going to be a little tougher for Minnesota to get the job done, but I still think we do, right? Now, Minnesota learned the Los Angeles Rams were still a dangerous team when they handed the Vikings yet another loss, moving to 5-2 on the season. But the Vikings are still in a solid position, but a win is necessary to keep up the pace in a tough NFC North where all teams are still currently above 500. I think the Bears are 4-3. Both the Packers are 6-2. The Vikings are 5-2, and the Detroit Lions are 6-1. This NFC North is just tough as nails, man. I mean, we have a lot of good teams in this division that just seem to win ball games, and the Bears are probably one of the bigger surprises of the division. I thought they were going to do good because of all the weapons that they brought in, but I didn't see them starting off this hot, especially getting the number 1 overall pick with Caleb Williams. You maybe expected them to have some type of spark, but not what they have shown this season. They probably should be 5-2 on the year if, Tyreek Stevenson didn't do the whole song and dance with the crowd and then tip the ball to the Washington Commander receiver in the end zone to lose that ball game. But it is what it is. It's a tough division, but Minnesota is still in a solid position to potentially win the NFC North and for sure at least make it into the playoffs. The current spread for this game has the Vikings 5.5-point favorites. I like that one. I think it's very doable for Minnesota to win this game by at least a touchdown. I think the Colts are a good team. They're a tough team, especially when they're starting. They're the last couple weeks they've really started to figure out, their identity, and it's even more apparent that their identity is stronger with Joe Flacco at the quarterback position than it is with Anthony Richardson. Even though Anthony Richardson can move the rock every once in a while, Joe Flacco gives them a better chance to win, and that's other than the fact of Anthony Richardson benching himself, that's one of the reasons Shane Steichen decided to make the quarterback move, is Joe Flacco gives them the better chance to win. So why not hand him the ball and make, or give him a chance to lead the Colts to a playoff push or even a Super Bowl push, even though I don't think that's going to be possible for them. Certainly can be, because anything happens in this league. But the current money line is minus 250 for the Vikings, plus 195 for the Colts. And the over under for this game is 46.5 points. That's going to be an interesting one. I think it could be a high scoring game, but if it's going to be a high scoring game, I think it comes from the Minnesota Vikings side of the ball. But we have to really see what this offensive line has in store for us, right? We just traded for Cam Robinson. He could be playing. Kevin O'Connell today did say that he could see some packages on Sunday night against the Colts, which I think left tackle, switching up the scheme for Cam Robinson should be easier than if you're a wide receiver trying to learn all these plays. So he could be in the game every once in a while, but I think we'll have David Quessenberry at least maybe start the game, and then we'll see a little bit of Cam Robinson mixed in. Or, hey, I could be completely wrong, and Cam Robinson will be taking the snaps the entire game at left tackle. It's all kind of up in the air at this point. So we'll see. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I have Minnesota winning this ball game. I think it's a very easy ball game, or not a very easy, a very winnable ball game. These next stretch of games where we got the Colts, the Jags, and the Titans. We should win all three of these. The Jags, going to be an interesting one. The Colts, definitely going to be an interesting one this Sunday just because they have Joe Flacco at quarterback. But I want to hear your guys' overall thoughts in that comment section down below. Also, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be much appreciated. Have a great rest of the night, folks, and Skol Vikes.